Coach Prime in Colorado have a tremendous opportunity in front of them. They go to Eugene, Oregon. They're 3-touchdown underdogs. And Vegas, again, is betting against Coach Prime. We picked Oregon in this football game. So I want to have that out there. Now, if Oregon goes out there and beats Colorado, there's going to be a lot of overreaction talk. A lot of people saying, well, we knew Coach Prime wasn't this. We knew Coach Prime wasn't that. A lot of people quick to grab their receipts that they were being polled about them being wrong about Colorado and bring them back to the cashier and say, no. Look, hey, I was right about Colorado. Look how they lost to Oregon. Now, if they win the football game, this whole conversation is just drastically different on Sunday morning, and we're pouring rocket fuel on the Coach Prime experience, and that thing's leaving orbit. Okay, so there's that. But going back to this, there will be overreaction abomination if Coach Prime and company lose in Eugene, which is wild because 3 touchdowns, we kind of understand here. That number in itself is telling us something about how Vegas feels about this game. It is what it is, but I don't think that that's necessarily a fair response to have to where Deion Sanders is right now. More on that in a second. Make sure you're dialed in. College football every single day of the week, live 3 times a week as we are right now. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 11 a.m. Eastern. We got content for you Monday too, so make sure you're dialed in. Make sure you're subscribed. We got you covered. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Twitter at JD Piquel. Appreciate you in advance for that. 2 things can be true. 1, what Coach Prime has done is literally a hard restart to the college football landscape. Athletic directors across the country are going to ask the head coaches they hire this next coaching carousel cycle and say, well, can you do what Coach Prime did? Can you get me a new roster? Can you overturn what we had last year and make it a winning operation? Can you do that for me? Because Coach Prime did it at Colorado. Why can't you? We understand now Deion Sanders is a one of one. He's got star power through the roof, so there's more to that than what meets the eye. But understand, he has done nothing short of change the landscape in college football. He has done, you can't overstate the impressive nature of what he's done. That is true. That's number 1. Overachieved. Can't talk about how impressive it is. First part. Second part of this, though, which deserves to live in the same neighborhood as that conversation, maybe Colorado's not going to win the Pac-12 their first year. Right? Maybe it's not a finished product when you overhaul 80 new players. Maybe you're not at the level of an Oregon or a USC or a Washington, or you go down the list here, or a Utah. Maybe not. Is that wrong? No, it's not wrong. Is it down on Deion Sanders? No, it's not down on Deion Sanders. Other part of this, though, you're going to get a lot of people saying, well, you don't believe. Well, you're a hater. Well, you want to see Coach Prime fail. Nobody's saying that. Come on, let's rein in a little bit here. Nobody's talking about that with Deion Sanders. I just told you what he's done is nothing short of impressive, historic, whatever adjective you want to throw at it. But at the exact same time, just because they've had success in year 1, if they lose a football game, we're not overreacting either way. But if they win a football game, it legitimizes them to a whole new level. We understand that. But I don't think we should talk about them in this Pac-12 title light just based on what we've seen from the first 3 games. Now, I would say this. Like I said, if they beat Oregon, heck, if they just split Oregon and USC, you want to talk about I believe, you don't believe, you should believe, you might believe, you don't believe. This whole belief conversation goes out the window. Because you know what believing is? In college football, believing is seeing. And we haven't seen a ton from Coach Prime just yet. We've seen some good things. We've seen some really good things. I just told you, we've seen some historic things from them, but we haven't seen them beat a Pac-12 top-tier team just yet. Now, if they do it, hats off, conversation changes. Like I said, that legitimizes them in a whole new way. But nobody is wrong here for saying, yeah, they're really impressive, but they also may not be the cream of the crop in the Pac-12. So, on top of that, it's year 1. This whole operation has been an incredible ride, an incredible experience for the college football world as a whole. It's brought in new viewership from an audience standpoint. It's broke viewership records on TV. You got people staying up to 1:30 a.m. to watch Colorado State. How wild of a sentence is that if you were to go back in time 2 years ago and say you're all staying up past midnight to watch Colorado State? Not even a Pac-12 conference game. You got Colorado State being a group of 5 team, playing Colorado, and we're staying up late to watch that one. Why? Because of Coach Prime. Okay, so it's year 1. This is a starting point for them. And we said it going into the year. If they have a proof of concept If they have some games that they win here, this thing is going to get rolling really quickly. Because now, with what they've done to this point, with the excitement they've generated, with the guys they've been able to get on campus, with the way that they've kind of gained some momentum on the field, that's going to alleviate a lot of questions some top recruits in the country would have had. Because the question you had going into it was, well, that's great you got this plan. That's great that you are one of the greatest players of all time, and I respect that. And that itself might get me to come to Colorado, but the other side of this is, well, am I going to have to suffer through 3 or 4 losing seasons? Am I going through the entire rebuild? Like, do I have to build a foundation of this program and then come back in a couple of years and watch us win when I'm an alumni? I think Coach Prime and what they've done to this point has laid the foundation enough to where if you're a recruit, you understand when you walk in, there's a pretty solid foundation to stand on by nature of what they've done through the portal. And Deion Sanders, he'll use the portal again. They'll go get great players. But long term, I think Deion Sanders wants to recruit at the high school level. And the great news is, once they have that base solid enough, and I think they're getting there, probably a year or so away, they can rely more heavily on the high school level. So for Deion Sanders, man, I think what they've done right now is provide a ton of ammunition for what they can use in the recruiting trail. And I want to say this, his prime is ahead of him as a head coach. Like, whether we want to talk about that or not, because I think the moment itself is so captivating, but the prime for Deion Sanders, his best days are ahead of him at Colorado, which is crazy to say based on what they've done to this point, getting game day to come to town, big noon kickoff essentially now being big noon Colorado. Like, it's extremely impressive and deserves a ton of praise. But what they're going to do because of the proof of concept they've provided now for recruits and for guys at the high school level, best days are ahead of them. So Deion Sanders and company, if they win at Oregon, things taken off to the moon. If they lose, let's not overreact. Let's not say he's a fraud. Let's not say he's a failure. Let's just understand that the win total for them going into the season was 3.5 wins. They're sitting at 3 right now. So if you had the over there, should feel pretty good about that cashing. Bird Dogs, good people there, first of all. Great people running that operation. Second of all, and this is important, we are going through a time of the year where we are transitioning from short season to pants season. Y'all know what I'm talking about here. Weather's kind of changing. The people watching the show in the Northeast, I feel for y'all right now, kind of getting a little more crispy outside, all right? Shorts, we love them and wear them as long as we can. It's transitioning out of that time, okay? We got to wear some pants now. I hate it, you hate it, but it's true. Good news though, Bird Dogs got you covered. Great looking pants. So you're still styling, no issues there, no setbacks there. You don't want to be that guy just wearing baggy sweats every single day of the week. A couple times a week, sure, but you want to wear something nice. Bird Dogs got you covered there. Also, comfortable. You don't have to sacrifice for the stiff khakis that feel like cardboard on your thighs and you can't really even get full range of motion walking around the office. Don't be that guy. Don't go through that. Get you some Bird Dogs. Moving from shorts to pants season, they got you covered. Now, you redeem code JD at checkout. Get you a nice little Hydro Flask style water bottle. Yeah, that's the real game changer here for your fall experience. Throw a little pumpkin cold brew in there. Yeah, that's what we're doing here. That's what we're about. So go ahead, get you something from Bird Dogs. Again, redeem code JD for that Hydro Flask style water bottle. Good times are rolling. So we appreciate Bird Dogs bringing that to y'all and bringing the hard count to this operation right now. So thank you in advance for y'all rolling with Bird Dogs. Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of the Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.